Hey guys, and welcome back to my Let's Play of the Crash Bandicoot n.sane Trilogy. Last time we grabbed our first green gem, our first colour gem I should say, in the Lost City, and we did the Temple Ruins. And the next level we have to go to is Road to Nowhere. However, because we got the green gem, it means that we can now go back to Jungle Rollers, the second level of the game, and we can finally get the gem for that level. I don't need to use that thing anymore. I can just switch to Coco at will by simply pressing R2. Okay, so let's go back to Jungle Rollers and try and get the gem here. This is really where it starts to show just how pointless the backtracking is, because we're only doing this for about 3 boxes. Right, that was all we missed in our first visit to Jungle Rollers. And yeah, the levels aren't very long. It's just still quite annoying. At the very least, for some of the later levels, you're backtracking for a large number of boxes. But for some of them, it's just so few. And that's the clock that activates the time trial mode. I'm not going to be bothering with that. There's really no point. I know I like to do 100% runs, but I cannot get the platinum gems at all. And I'm not going to bother just going through all the gold relics again. Even though the gold relics are the ones required for the trophies, I'm not going to bother. If you're a trophy hunter, find out somewhere else if you need some help. But I am not doing the High Roads gold relic again. Or Stormy Ascent. I bring up the High Road more than anything, but Stormy Ascent. Right, I missed. A rise platform. Now, I think in the original, you can jump onto some of the wooden planks here. Like at the bottom. I missed. I missed again. I know I don't need it. Your lives don't reset in the n.sane Trilogy like they do in the original. Yeah, it's like you could jump up on those wooden planks. And you could maneuver yourself up there, but you couldn't really see what you were doing. I wasn't able to do it. I never have been, but you know, you can save some time by doing that. Whoops. I could have sworn I jumped onto the skull. And now we can just continue the level from normal. Those 3 boxes were the only ones holding us back from the gem before. And that's just what's annoying about it. But we have to go through everything again, and that includes all of the bonus things. Thankfully this is Jungle Rollers, so we're not going to be doing very much. How does she keep getting away? Well, Coco's probably just thinking, who are you? Actually, if Crash is supposed to be mutated by Dr. Cortex, where did Coco come from? Like, it's stated that she is also the result of an experiment, but when did that experiment happen? Because we already destroyed Cortex's castle and everything. So when did Cortex get the chance to do this? Because surely if she's already mutated Coco, she's clearly intelligent. Wouldn't she be part of his army, or is she like Crash? She was rejected for being too friendly. Because I mean, why not? She's friendly. She's a bit on the lazy side in the case of Crash too, but you know, maybe that's what it really is. She hasn't travelled back in time to help Crash. She's travelled back in time just to get that laptop battery. You are no use to me, big brother, so I'll do it myself. And now we're on the road to nowhere. Yeah, there's warthogs here too. We can't ride them, sadly. They're hazards. But oh boy. I don't know what they did to these levels. We can't get the gem here. We need the red gem. So we have to go to Slippery Climb first. But these levels are the ones that have suffered the worst in this remake. Because of stuff like that. Okay, I can maybe understand why I fell to that one. But because Crash and Coco now have smaller hitboxes compared to the original, which I think is just because of the shape. I think it's like a circular hitbox in this, whereas it's square in the original. Even if you just very slightly touch the edge of the platforms, you're going to fall to your death. And it's really annoying. Some of these jumps, especially in the high road. This one's not too bad. But in the high road, you have to make some extremely precise jumps that weren't so really weren't that hard to make in the original. Like in the original, you always had some leeway. Like it looked like you weren't ever going to land on the platform, but you could. It's kind of like how it's kind of like how in a 2D Mario game, if just the tip of Mario's toe is on the platform, you will stand on the platform. Like you won't fall down, but that's just not the case here. And in the high road, I don't remember if there's any here, but in the high road there are moments where you have to make leaps of faith because there's invisible platforms that don't appear until you land on them. And it's very possible to actually land on those platforms. It's very possible to just get close enough to make the platforms appear, but it still won't count as you landing on them. And this is going well, but there is a second trick you can do. I'll try and do it here. Yeah, so you can land on the ropes. I recommend using the D-pad for this. You have got to be a bit careful though. The ropes do change positions, and I'm no good at jumping from rope to rope, but that's what you have to do to get the platinum relic. You have to walk along those ropes, and really you have to kind of do it for the gold relic as well. But you have to really be skilled at walking along those ropes because that's the only way you're getting the platinum relic. Button pressing, the PS4 controller is really loud. I really hate this. Obviously the broken ones, you fall straight through them, you can't stand on them in any way, and I was on that platform. Ugh. I hate these levels. This is the better of the two. I want to say the high road was actually the most frustrating gold relic to get. Yeah, that or the lab. Or maybe something in at least in Crash 1 anyway. Because there was Piston It Away. And Sunset Vista as well, but obviously that's more of a length issue. Right, let's go. I want that checkpoint. I want the checkpoint, Coco. At least you didn't fall off the edge there. I know I can't get the gem yet, but I don't care. You can get crushed by that, by the way. Now we play the waiting game. Whee! Seriously. Cortex, how do you keep letting her escape? The better question, why did in the original game, Cortex doesn't even take her away. So she just stands there. Why don't we just take her with us? Sit. Yeah. Okay. I see what I did wrong there. You have to bounce on the circle. That was my fault. I know I did like a sigh of frustration, but then I realized, wait, you have to bounce on the circle. But yeah, we need the red gem for this one. You can see there is a platform off in the distance. That's where the remaining crates are. I've never actually seen what happens when I can get a lot of them hit Coco. Like if you have enough of them land on Crash, he's flat on the ground, pretty much with a broken back. But I've never seen what it looks like with Coco. You can do it in a number of levels, and it is actually a trophy. I think there's like 4 different phases. One where they're standing like we saw just then. And then we saw it go into phase 2 where it's like she's slightly injured. Then they'll be closer to the ground. Then they'll be flat on the ground. I think you got to get to phase 3 to get the trophy for it. I'm pretty sure it's something you can actually do in the first level, but I did it in Sunset Vista. Alright, our second boulder level, Boulder Dash. And this is, unlike the first one, we can't get the gem here either. We need the purple gem, which is the last color gem we're going to be getting. And is also the only color gem that requires another color gem to get. We need to get the yellow gem in the lab in order to take the yellow gem path in Lights Out. That will get us the purple gem. So this is generally the last gem I get in the game. I don't think it has to be. But, I mean, it doesn't have to be, because the yellow gem could potentially be the first gem you get. But, you know, if you didn't get any of the other colored gems, you could get the yellow gem last. You could get the yellow gem first, and the purple gem then go here. But this is generally how I do it. There's also only one level in the entire game where you don't have to, that has a colored gem path that you don't have to backtrack to, which, oh, I forget its name, Jewels of Darkness. That requires the blue gem, but you don't need to backtrack for that one, because you get the blue gem before going to that level. You get the blue gem in Toxic Waste. Jewels of Darkness is like 4 levels later. That's like the only time in the game that anything like that happens. So that's 2 rare occasions in this game. By the way, when you're playing the original, it's not so bad here, but when you're playing the original, this boulder gets really close. You can do a technique, and I think it still works in this as well, where you got to like hit this sort of alternate left and right. I don't know I think it works here as well. It's probably easier to do with the D-pad. And that will give you like a little bit of extra speed when you're jumping. So if you sort of just mash left and right when and you keep jumping, you can get yourself a little bit of extra distance from the boulder. Even though the boulder gets really close, as long as you don't stop, it won't hit you. It just looks like it's getting really close, and it's kind of uncomfortable to look at. I think the technique works here as well, but I'm not entirely sure. Boy. It's time. This is where you can really praise one particular thing. You can die. Sunset Vista. This is, by a considerable distance, the longest level in the game. You thought the Lost City was long? That was nothing compared to this, and for some reason I'm not jumping on the crate, Coco. I will say, I really do love the level aesthetics here. In this remake, it really looks gorgeous. But I hate Sunset Vista in the original game because it's so long and you cannot die. And there's one particular jump there is one particular jump that is a freaking nightmare. In fact, it's not even a jump, actually. I always find that I have to jump to get it anyway, but it's not a jump. You just have to make your way past some of those walls that are pushing you out. But they start to get like all sorts of patterns, like where they'll all move at different times compared to where they're all moving at the same time. And there's one point where it gets really freaking precise with the timing, where you're pretty much required to sort of jump with the Z-axis as it pushes you outwards, so you can maneuver your way around it. Well, that was not how I planned on doing that. Okay, you cannot spin into the iguanas. I did forget about that. I hate when stuff like that happens. Boy, Sunset Vista is going to go on much longer than it really needs to. But because of that one really annoying jump, which is really not that far from the end, and I've had to restart Sunset Vista as a result so many times to get the gem. This is probably the worst gem in the original game to get. Along with the lab. The lab, Sunset Vista, and Slippery Climb. And maybe the High Road. They're like the big 4 when it comes to the really frustrating ones. You know, big 5, Toxic Waste. That's another really frustrating one to get. And you still have to do that in one go in this, because that's how you get the colour gems you've seen. Same with Slippery Climb and the lab. Honestly, the worst bit about the lab in this game, in the remake that isn't the relic, is actually the bonus room. Thankfully you can die in that, and thank God, because that bonus room is really hard. You know what else is really hard? Sunset Vista in its original form. Not in the one that was released in the game, but the beta Sunset Vista was even longer than the final release, and much more difficult. Like, there are some really precise jumps. There's sections where you have, like, where I was just jumping on like those spinning blocks a moment ago. In the original, there's areas like that, but instead of blocks, they're those torch things right there. You have to, those things are floating in the air, they're spinning around, and you have to be so careful. It's really precise timing. There'll be a jump when we get to in a minute where you can really, they thankfully made the platform bigger. But compared to the original, in the original beta version, that platform was super precise. We'll get to it. I think it's at the end of this. I think it's just after this climb, actually. It's a really precise climb to make. And it's weird, because if you fall down here, you'll be perfectly fine. You can fall all the way down to the bottom and you'll be perfectly fine. Once you get to the next horizontal section, the level that's beneath us, that we were just in at the start, is no longer there. So, yeah, you die. I don't know why it suddenly comes into effect when you start going horizontally. But, it's weird, but, you know, at the very least you don't have to do the climb again. Granted, I'd rather climb up than die, but I don't know, maybe that's just me. These things are really annoying. This platform right here, right, this bit right here that I'm standing on, that is not there in the beta version. You have to jump off of that spinning platform and land it on this middle stone in order to get that. Right, this part is also really annoying. There are 2 opportunities you get to jump there. That is the more risky one. Right, invincibility that's not really going to be of much use because it pretty much runs out by the time you reach the bats. Oh, there's your hitbox. Yeah, your hitbox is still a bit. There we go. I was wrong. I think this is probably like the longest invincibility time I've ever known a video game to have. So it goes on for quite a long time. They shortened it in Wrath of Cortex. It only lasts about half as long, and it doesn't really do anything bar make you invincible. Like, you can still break objects by running into them. You can still kill enemies by running into them, but that's it. Like, there's no speed increase. And your hitbox isn't any bigger. You're just invincible, and it doesn't last as long. It's still better than Crash to Insanity, where it lasts where it's even shorter. It's only about 5 seconds long. There's no music whatsoever, and it doesn't destroy anything. You're just invincible. So it doesn't increase your hitbox, you don't run any faster, you can't even kill enemies with it. Right, come on you. Get over here. That was a steel box. I was thinking it was a normal box, I didn't even notice these. Oh, Cortex icon. Yeah, we can get our first key here, and thankfully again, we can die in the bonus rooms now, and we can re-enter them. In the original, if you failed in that bonus room, didn't get the key, you'd have to now go back through Sunset Vista again, just to get another chance at the key. Where it's no guarantee you're going to get it there either. The Cortex bonus rooms are easier than the Brio ones. But again, you can die here. Right, I think we're getting to the annoying one in a minute actually. Oh no! This is the n.sane Trilogy. I can die. So if this is the original, I would now have to exit the level and start again. And we're not even halfway through the stage yet. This stage is so freaking long. It's like, it's just end, and you think it's going to end, and then it doesn't. Remember, the beta is even longer. I think there is a way you can access the beta, because I have seen people access it, like on videos on YouTube. But I'm not sure how you access it, because there is a prototype version of it, of Crash Bandicoot. It's like it still has the free climb intact, lights out is incredibly glitchy, stuff like that. Right, I think that's another Cortex icon, so I want to get out there. Yes it is. Right, this jump, this bit right here. Okay, it's not quite at the end of the stage, actually it's quite far away from it. Right, I swear those things are faster in the original, but I hardly ever make that, and that is the worst bit of the stage. I have to wait again. Hey. By the way, there was a moment, I think it was on my second playthrough, where I actually missed one box, and you can just see it in between the cracks just there. I missed that box. I finally got to the end of Sunset Vista without dying, and then I found out that I was missing a box. Because I completely missed it right in there. So that was really annoying. I think I realised it when I didn't get the Cortex thing, but that was really annoying because it meant that I had to go through Sunset Vista so many times, finally did it without dying, and then came out with absolutely nothing other than access to the next level. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if spinning on top of the box is what it normally does, so I'm not going to try. Why does he leave us the key? Cortex, what do you hope to achieve if you just leave us the key? Like, it just appears there, but I swear he throws it at you in the original. Could be wrong, but I swear that's what he does. One of the things a bit further up. That was a terribly timed jump. This stage never freaking ends. It's even longer when you have to keep going through the bonus rooms. Look at all these boxes. They're not going to one-up. Sometimes when I bounce on a lot of things, I just sing the one-up jingle anyway. Diddling, diddling. So close to 99 lives. But make sure these things don't push you off. I think... I'm not sure. Can you land on a torch if you fall down that gap? I don't want to find out, really. So, let's not try and find out. Hey, look, it's Ripperoo. Well, one of them looks like Ripperoo. Ah! Oh, God's sake. Right. Let's try doing that again. We shall not mention that kangaroo's name. I died to him like 5 times. Who dies to Ripperoo? It's easier to die to him in Crash 2 than it is here, and he's the first boss in Crash 2. I think. Wait, was he the first boss or the second boss? I forget which way around it is. Is it either Ripperoo or the Komodo brothers? I think it's Ripperoo. Oh well. I'll be reminded when I get to Crash 2. Yep, okay. Thank God. It's done. Did it. 99 lives. That would be a trophy if I didn't already have it. I platinumed all 3 games. For the trophy, not the relics. Thank God that isn't a trophy. You only need the gold relics, which is frustrating enough. Especially Slippery Climb. Now, I think it was believed that one of the DLC's stages would be the prototype Sunset Vista, but we never seem to get that. It's called the Lost Treasures, so you'd think there'd be more than one stage, but it's Slippery Climb and that's it. Alright, however, we are going to end things off there, so next time we're going to be facing off the boss, the final boss of the second island, Koala Kong. So, I will see you guys then.